for this would be late spring, a little bit of chilly night, out back, eating an apple pie, drinking this beer,
Yeah.
watching the Bug Zapper.
That's a great pairing. Let's hear it for bells.
For bells.
For bells.
Bells.
With,
yeah,
with
well,
somebody
With bells on.
with somebody that you care about. You need a partner.
man.
You need a partner with this beer.
Oh, and here we are all together.
Yeah.
You need a partner. You need a partner with a bug zapper too, because
Yeah.
you're going to go. Did you see that one? Because if you don't
It's
have
like
a partner,
It's
then
like just boring.
yeah, it's just boring. You can't share.
Sounds relaxing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Key West Chris. You're listening to Key West Beer Tales, the sum of all beers. Let's move on. Mark, what are you pulling out next? Mark's, of course, our bartender, for those of you who are new.
We're going from
Yeah.
a tiny planet to a bigger planet.
Yeah. We're going from the planet closest to the sun to the planet that has moons that are bigger than Earth
Yes.
And oceans.
and oceans that are
And a big angry red spot.
yeah.
The other night, I had not tasted this beer, the Jupiter, and the other night, Danny got a bottle of this beer,
Yeah, during
and she
the Bells
couldn't
night.
say anything other than "wow." I think,
Well,
but maybe tonight you have a little more. You thought this was fantastic.
I'm under
Danny.
more pressure tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Talk.
it's literally your job to be a little bit more definitive than wow.
Right. Right. I can say wow.
You did say you really liked it.
No, I did. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did. I thought it was really great. Now I get to compare it with what we just had and move
Which was
on.
a bit of a wow.
Yeah, that's a wow too.
Yeah.
A very well balanced. And
I'd go
delicious
back
beer.
and really say that I hope we get to have some more of that.
Bells.
Well,
Please, bells.
my first impression on this
Wait.
after
I
think
said
we have
bells.
the
Oh, bells.
Bells twice.
Bells twice.
Bells twice.
Two bellsing.
Two bellsing. Cheers, cheers.
Yeah,
cheers,
because I want to cheers this.
cheers.
I want to cheers this, and I want to sip this right now because I just can't wait. Because after Danny really went wow, the next day I had to have one, and I did the same thing. I said wow.
It's got a very bready bouquet.
Well, one of the, I
So
start to say that
caramel.
the first thing after having had the Mercury
Butterscotch.
first and then going to this, the first word that came out of my mouth when I tasted this was rich. Wow,
Oh, very rich.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
it was
yeah.
extremely rich.
yeah.
Well,
Big body,
Malty.
big flavor, a lot of malt.
But yeah, this is super malt. Mild hops on this. But
Yeah.
definitely like pronounced, but like mild.
And the alcohol has a pronounced flavor in it. 'Cause
It does.
It is high in alcohol, but it's very well integrated into the flavor of it. It's not like it's it's part of the flavor. It's there.
They did a great job with this beer.
They did, yeah.
I was happy to know that we were one of very few places this side of Miami to have it.
This is a really, really nice beer.
It certainly is.
Super
yeah.
butterscotch. I mean, like it has that like
Yeah, it's got that
like
thickness to it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like a almost like like a step above the double cream,
Oh
Right?
yeah.
which is also made by Bell's. Which is a little bit thicker viscosity wise, but like this has a more bold flavor.
Yeah, and this is sharper. Has that sting to it.
Yeah, it doesn't. Definitely the hops
Yeah.
sting. Yeah.
Man, nice.
It's a beautiful beer.
It is beautiful.
And I thought we had sold out of this, and I realized I hit a few. So this is why we're
Thank you, Dave.
tasting it tonight, because I think this it just goes perfectly with at this time and place where Bell's is coming back into Key West and South Florida with a new distributor. It's just perfect timing to taste something like this, and hopefully we can bring in the next Planet series and.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Yeah.
How many planets do we have nowadays? I mean,
Last time I
it's
checked-
ever
I think we have 8
changing.
now.
Well,
Did they cancel one?
Yeah, got Pluto.
they've canceled Pluto, but they're reconvening on that.
They're having a meeting
Yeah.
on Saturn.
Well, this is an Imperial Brown Ale, and it's definitely a dark brown beer. It's
Oh,
much much darker than the previous beer.
This is like saddle leather dark.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's like a nice English saddle,
Yes.
or even a Western saddle, perhaps.
Yeah, well, one without flourishes.
Right.
That hasn't been
Shut
sat
up,
on.
Mark.
That hasn't been sat on as of yet.
Very polished.
Recently tanned.
Yes. Brewed with 7 different varieties of malt and hopped for a balanced bitterness. It's really, it's so good.
It is
I
very
could read
good.
this, but, I got to put my glasses
This
on.
this cigar is a Mike Ditka 89 cigar.
Is it?
It is.
Oh.
I
I see the box right there.
yeah.
The 89 sticks
yeah.
right out. That really rings my bell.
Oh, Bill!
Hey,
Bells.
Bell, Danny's on top of this.
Cheers, Larry.
Wow.
Cheers. Come back anytime.
And to all the brewers at Bell's.
Oh, yeah.
you know.
guys did a great job. Kudos to the whole crew at Bell's for getting this out.
Oh, it's great.
This is a fantastic beer.
I love the maltiness of this beer.
Yeah, me too.
It's just, yeah.
Yeah.
In an era where you have all these people going hop crazy, it's awfully nice to have people doing something from the other side.
Yes. I think, as trends progress, and, Dave, we mentioned this before on the show, the forecasting, I'm pretty good at that.
Yes.
However, we have yet to carry a consistent sour here.
Oh,
Yes.
the consistent sours.
Yeah, consistent sour. Anyway, but as the trends progress, I see more malt-forward beers coming out, from the craft breweries in the States. Also, I see more of an invasion from the north and the south. So we have, the Mexicans and the Canadians kind of coming up in the scene. I believe the Mexicans and the Canadians are going to be coming up with some really great stuff. I spied 2 Mexican corn-based beers recently that were being riffed on and people were going back and forth about on the internet that seemed like they would be very, very good. And now these are darker beers coming out of Mexico, and also there's some brilliant ryes coming out of Canada right now. There's some really great breweries popping up in Canada.
Wow.
Now they have crazy laws up there about brewing, except for the province of Quebec.
Yeah.
Everyone else, though, they have insane laws.
Really?
So yeah, their licensing process is a little bit more involved. So
a bunch of blowhards.
yeah,
Well, they
a
have
bunch of
some.
Canadians.
They have some construction laws too. If you want to build a building up in Canada, if you build a building, you must dig the foundation. You have to dig it so many feet, and then you must pack it with dirt for a year and a half. It has to sit for a year and a half before you can build a building on it. So therefore, it takes a year and a
I
half.
wonder what that's. I'm not
It's-
thinking earthquakes.
It's about the settling of the land
Oh, okay.
and how cold it gets and warm it gets.
Huh. Interesting.
I only know that because
Prefer-
Volkswagen wanted to build a warehouse up there, and
Oh.
that was the delay of the warehouse.
There must be a brewery nearby then.
I
hope
would
so.
imagine.
Probably,
Yeah.
probably the warehouse is now our brewery.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, I have a question for you. Where does the maltiness come from? What is malt?
Malt is barley. Comes from barley, and what they do is they'll let it. They'll put in a. Oh, the name's escaping me. It's 11 something at night. But they have it in a. They'll put it in water, and it'll germinate,
Sprout.
sprout,
Sprout.
and that's where they get malt from.
If you let it sit for a year and a half, can you build a building on top of it?
I think if you let it sit for a year and a half, you'll have barley plants.
You'll have a whole new harvest of barley that you have to now mulch.
And of course, when it does this, it produces sugar, and the sugar is what makes the alcohol.
And so, and the common trend in the food industry now is spreaded wheats and grains. So you'll see this because it's healthier for you.
Sprouted bread. I've had sprouted bread.
Sprouted grains are better for you. It's A, because they're whole grains, and B, because when the life starts to come out of the dormant
The husk.
husk.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean it becomes naturally more acceptable for your body to digest.
Yeah.
Ah.
So it's easier. It's easier for people who usually have gluten problems and like other.
Yeah.
Digestive problems to be
people
able to
that
do it.
have like IBS and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about that some more.
No.
You
no.
think
Moving
Jupiter
on.
could take one more trip around the sun?
I do.
All right.
All right, here's to
It
my.
takes a long time for Jupiter to get around the sun.
It does. It does.
Yeah, I
And
wonder,
it
I wonder
flies
how
in an
long a
elliptical
Jupiter
orbit.
year is. That's
I think
something.
it has an elliptical orbit, if I remember correctly.
Now, one thing.
I think it's
The sun.
Uranus.
Oh. Duh.
Dave's got something here.
This beer is a very limited beer,
Yeah.
but they still went all out and created the crown cap
Okay.
that says Jupiter on it.
Wonderful.
I find that quite interesting that for a limited beer they created a cap also.
Well, they put a lot of effort into their products, I think. Ah, the sound of beer pouring out of a.
Yeah, yeah. And here again,
glass.
we hope you're enjoying with us, right?
Absolutely,
Yes.
yeah, definitely. Be sure that you're like imbibing with the beer with us.
Okay,
Wah,
so
wah, wah.
this is probably going to be the last Jupiter for me ever.
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 That's
Yeah.
correct. Ever.
I mean,
They're not making any more after this.
are there any more in the cooler? I don't think there are any more in the cooler.
I believe I found them all.
But
and
there's
this is
none
it.
that are going to be produced next year or anything.
No,
No,
This
no,
is
no.
a one-time deal. It's called the Planet Series. When it's over, it's over. And you know
they might revisit it.
They'll
but-
come up with something else. They
Yeah.
may revisit something else. I don't know who these
That's the
brewers are
beauty
to
of
come
it,
up
you know,
with
there's,
this. But
There's just so much great stuff you can.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
enjoying exploring
Do.
the planets with you guys.
Huh.
Yeah.
Bells.
Ring the bell.
Ring the bells.
Bell.
Yeah.
Thank you, Larry Bell, for this.
Also,
fabulous,
we don't have
fabulous
our
beer.
resident guest
Chris
Chris Robinson here tonight. He's
Well, we miss you, Chris.
yeah he was going back to his house and he didn't have the energy to make it out. So
Too much gallivanting.
Yes.
yes.
A whole month of gallivanting. Speaking of gallivanting, we had kind of an interesting happening on the way.
We certainly
Here,
did.
yeah.
We certainly did. This deserves mention.
I was just heading down the road
She was
to go somewhere.
Easing on down the road, if you will.
Yeah, on my bicycle.
She was going to a specific destination,
Yeah.
and she texted me. I was coming back from the supermarket.
I said, come down the street. Actually, I said, come dub the street.
Yeah, I didn't know what the heck she was talking about.
Dubstep the street, I said. Yeah.
I didn't know what she was talking about, and then continue.
Well, I eventually got him to come down the street because I was...
After I got home.
Yeah, I was passing this building where the Key West
Homebrew.
homebrew group
Association.
yeah, they had a little building there where they were selling some stuff, but apparently they're closing that out. It wasn't working out because people would come in and say, "Hey, I want to know about blah blah blah," and they'd get their information, and they'd leave, and then order off the internet.
What
Order off the
dirtbag.
internet. Yeah.
You know, you peg somebody's brain by their product.
Oh well. Anyway, a bunch of the people who, a couple of the people from Beer Boutique
Yeah.
were there. Heather and
Yeah.
and
Brookie.
Brookie.
Rookie.
Yeah.
Heather and Brookie were there, and some other cool people that are really really into beer. And we must have
Trent?
tried Trent.
Trent's a good guy.
Trent's awesome.
Oh, you know Trent.
Yeah.
Okay, he didn't know you.
Oh,
Oh,
he knows
well, that's
him.
funny.
No, but I'm sure it's one of these situations where if he saw you, it's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, you know.
Well, no, if you saw me now, he'd be like, "Who the hell is that
Everybody's
guy?"
saying, "Who the hell are you?" Since you shaved your mustache.
Yeah, nobody
That's right.
knows Mark
Oh
after
yeah,
he shaved. So
Yeah, all those out there in Radio Land. If you like my mustache, which you never saw because it's the radio,
It's a radio.
it's gone.
Yep.
It's gone for a long time, guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, a
Yeah.
long time.
Well, until I get bored and grow it back.
Yeah,
Hopefully
yeah.
it's next week.
No, I like him without the mustache.
I can't get used to him.
and as
As a matter of
You
Bob
fact,
don't
said,
have to get used to me. The ladies do.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Chris Robinson said he bumped into you and he didn't know who you were.
I was staring at him, and I was literally sitting out in the middle of traffic on the corner of Caroline and Duval. I'm looking at him. I'm like, I just put my hands out, and I was like, and he was like,
Whoa. Yeah, he was a little discombobulated at the time.
and then I went over to last weekend to buy a pack of smokes, and I don't smoke, and I don't condone smoking. Smoking causes cancer. Don't smoke.
You bought them for someone else.
Yeah, bought them for somebody else. A duck.
A duck.
I'm biting my tongue.
Anyway, So then he pulls up alongside me as I'm turning around.